Om Swastiastu, Om Awignam Astu, Namo Sidam. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters who have gathered here today, may I wish upon us clear thoughts. On this very special occasion, please allow me a few minutes of your time for me to deliver this special message entitled Trihita Karana and Life. But before I actually begin to talk about Trihita Karana itself, I would like to give a little bit of an illustration towards the roles that we humans have in maintaining within the pivotal of how this relationship is maintained. Within the modernization of the world, religious people play a role in maintaining that religion is a set of moral values and as a guide that is meant to be put on a pedestal by everyone who adheres by it. And as an Indonesian citizen, we acknowledge that diversity is God's grace. That diversity are the differences that we must uphold. Different religions, different customs, different beliefs, different traditions. This becomes the ideology that we are based in. This is what our nation is famous for. But it's not always the easiest of relationships to maintain with how diverse our country is. Wisdom accepts diversity with the knowledge that is true to our existence, true to God's love. Hence, the relations between humans, God, and nature will persist, be full of meaning, and be full of glory. But of course, glory will not be reached if we don't work hard to achieve it. That is why we are now going to look into our roots as a creature of Tripramana. Humans originate from two different sources, Purusa and Prakriti. Purusa being the soul, if you will, while Prakriti is the more physical aspects of the body. The unification of the two, then comes Ahamkara. Now, Ahamkara, which feels and acts, Buddhi, that makes decisions, Mana, that thinks. These aspects, along with hundreds more, are what makes us able to do the things that we do. Able to create our own unique characters, our own unique personalities. But then the question becomes, what is human nature? For a long time, humans have been considered as the perfect living being, able to differentiate between right and wrong. But is that enough for us to be granted the wish of being called the perfect living being? Now, with that in mind, let's start to talk about the concepts of Trihita Karana. Starting with the first one, our relationship with God. A connection that is made through the acts of worships that is brought upon by humans who do work as an offering and as a sincere observance. The Bhagavad Gita mentions that he who does work as an offering, then that work is considered Brahman. That Brahman is what at the end will be reached by those who realize that God is in every work. Our connection to God is done through faith. But as time goes on and as our actions shift our own beliefs, this connection seems to be degrading. Take example me. I was raised with the idea that it is ideal and it is that you're supposed to do 3 prayers in a day. But I am now 16 and I'm struggling to commit to 1 prayer a day. Now that raises a question. Does that mean I don't believe in God as much as I did in the past? Or is it that I don't believe maintaining a good connection is a good thing to pay attention to? Moving on, the connection of humans to humans. This connection, this relationship that is based on respect and appreciation can be easily bottled down to the law of Tat Twam Asi. The golden rule. Einstein's third rule of physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Treat people how you would like to be treated. But I would actually shed focus on a more distinct form of connection. Humans to humans. Us to us. Within the business of life, the voice of the heart can be defined as the voice of God. To hear it, one must clear oneself of worldly distractions. This can either be our controlled emotions, our stress, whatever it is. It's clouding us. It's making the voice of the heart, the voice of God, unclear. That's why we need to take time to connect to your soul. Take time for us to ask for forgiveness. Take time to understand who we truly are. Now that's nice and all. But as I mentioned before, we're able to differentiate between right and wrong. But I feel like you've lived the past year. Discrimination, murders, and selfishness for those who don't even want to wear this are costing us countless of lives. Now, is it just me, or does this show an absence of empathy? Next up is the relation with humans towards our surroundings. Now, in the Hindu community in Bali, we have certain practices of religion in which industrialization can be known as special days, such as Tumpak Lando for sanctification of production tools, Tumpak Wariga for plants, and Tumpak Kandang for pets. And not only in the Hindu community in Bali, I'm sure everyone in their life at some point have tried to give back to Earth, to Mother Nature. But again, I don't think you have to look hard. It didn't used to be this hot, nor did it used to be this cold. It didn't used to rain this much, nor did it used to be this dry. That animal didn't used to be dead, nor was that forest on fire. These are things that are results of our actions. And speaking of actions, humans present sacrifices to God. From Him come Rigveda. From Him come Atharvaveda and Yajurveda. That is a paraphrase from a sloka from Yajurveda, which explains to us that actions that are done as an offering are essential into our existence. The things we learn, the things we base our lives upon, are based from things we gain from sacrifices. So then, how is this fair for any of us? If it's not fair to God, if it's not fair to us, if it's not fair to nature, what are we supposed to do? My action plan is fairly simple and fairly broad. Care more, do more, learn more, and understand more. Kindness is key. We, as Indonesian citizens, acknowledge that diversity is God's grace, that it is an invaluable blessing. We, as religious people, play a role in viewing our religion as a standard and as a guide. We, as a creature of three pramana, understand that we have the ability to do things most things in the universe don't. We are put in a unique position where we have to act. To summarize all, kindness. Do with that what you may. Thank you all for your attention. This has been my message. To close, I will say Paramasanti, Om Santi 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 Om.